Hey guys, welcome back. Part number 1 of the 48th scale trumpeter A-6 Intruder. So today we're going to start introducing the project and we're going to start something completely different, but we're going to start the weapons first. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, Richie here from RW Hobbies. Welcome back for a brand new build series and joining me on a new journey, which is this great kit, HobbyBoss's 48th scale A-6 Intruder. So we're doing it 91, they started around Vietnam era, but we'll be doing it later, end of life, kind of Gulf War 91. So pretty much out the box with 3 things. So we're going to go with, as you see here, there's a lot of glass on the cockpit, so we really want to make sure that cockpit's sweet. So make sure the masking's all good. I got a mask set for the canopy, EX484. Pretty essential for me, makes it a lot easier. Although this canopy shouldn't be too difficult, but there is a few little things here and there. So canopy mask set, got some resin seats. These are the Ares 4403, a couple of GRU EA7, and the Martin Baker for this particular aircraft. Couple of resin seats, and then also ordered Quintus Studios set for this. Just got released in Eastern Europe. It's going to be a couple of weeks for me to get it, so I ordered it. I don't have it right now, but we'll have it by the time the build flows through every week on this build series. So why I've had this in my stash for a while, and why I haven't done it is for 2 reasons. Firstly, I guess I mentioned the cockpit. The detail in the kit it's okay, it's adequate, but it's not fantastic. Edward do a photo etch set, but it's very 2D. I like more of the 3D kind of look. And like I mentioned, Quintus Studios just released literally a set for this. And I've never done a 3D printed resin cockpit set before, so I'd be interested to see all the little switches and dials and stuff. But it does look quite fantastic. And again, with all this glass work, you're really going to see it. So invested in that one, and we're going to do that. The second reason why I not kind of had this in my stash and not kind of been working on it is the color scheme. So you do boring gray, but I want to do the camo scheme, like Gulf War camo, something a little bit different. The problem with this is, what I did in my review, if you saw it a few months back, was the decals are 2-tone, and you got to get the camo absolutely perfect with the lining. So if, for example, if you see navy, right there, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, half N and A in the lighter color, and V and Y are in the darker color, so you got to get the camo absolutely perfect. So my intention is to go with this scheme, but we'll see how we go. If this kit goes together well and doesn't fight me and a mojo's flowing, we'll go with the camo and get it done perfectly. If it's a bit of a pig and it causes me stress, and we might just go to plain gray. So just warning, we'll see when we get there, but my intention is to go with this one. Out the box, everything else other than what I just mentioned, and yeah, it should be a good build. A lot of detail on this kit. You got wings extended or folded. We'll do extended, I think. Radar, nice radar details. You can have the nose up and see all that beautiful radar, and yeah, nice looking kit. The funny thing is though, it's a big aircraft. It's just 48 scale, but when I opened the box up just now, I was like, wow, this is kind of small. And what I realized is I just recently finished a Hawker Hurricane in 24 scale, so I'm going from 24 scale to 48. So for me, when I looked at this, it was like going to like 144 scale. It looks tiny, but it's not. So here's your fuselage. Gives you an idea of size. Obviously, you got the big nose that kind of goes on here, but it's going to be a nice kit. It should be nice to work with. The plastic look really nice, and typical kind of HobbyBoss trumpeter kind of thing. So that is it. That's what we got ahead of ourselves. It's going to be a multi-part series. We're going to, because I don't have the cockpit set, we're going to start with some other stuff first, and we'll work away. Once we get that, we'll work away to the cockpit in later stages. So as always, be weekly build. Weekly parts coming out, and multiple parts. I have no idea right now, probably somewhere around about 5 to 8 parts total, depending the complexity of this. But yeah, so we're going to start with the ordnance first. So reason for that is there's a lot of stuff on this thing. Like, it carries like tons of stuff, tons of different stuff. So I think let's get it done first while we're really excited about this project and get it out of the way, and then when we kind of get the more mundane stuff later on and get the cockpit and stuff to work on as well to look forward to. So we're going to start with the ordnance very first, and let me kind of give you an idea what we've got going on here. So we got a lot. We got 2 of these sprues, and we got 2 of these guys. All kinds of stuff. Dumb bombs. I think we've got GBU, paveways. We got fuel tanks on here. We've got cluster bombs I mentioned. We got all kinds of stuff. So let me kind of show you what I love about Trump and HobbyBoss too is they really do nice kind of color callouts and chart for your weapons. So that's right there. See, smorgasbord of options, and these things pretty much carried anything. So what I did was I did some research online, and as always when you go online there's some bad stuff and some good stuff, but I did find a good article by somebody who worked with these guys in Gulf War, and he listed their loadout almost on a daily basis. So this is a nice variation, and this is what I'm going to go for. So there's five stations. So center pylon, I'm going with a fuel tank, and again this is per what the guy said they used in Gulf War. So fuel tank down the middle, and then the two inner pylons on the, well, as I'm looking at the aircraft. So station number 2 is going to be 1 Mark 82 GBU 12. On the other inner pylon, station 4 is going to be 4 Mark 81s. Although it might be 6. I need to figure that out, exactly how many it holds. And then on the outer pylons, stations 1 and 5 are going to be cluster bombs, your Mark 20. So we got 6 on each, so 12 cluster bombs. So we got 12, 18, 19, possibly 19 bits of ordnance and 1 fuel tank to build. So it's a lot of stuff. I didn't think about getting resin ones, but I think it should be okay. Like sand them down and stuff. There's 2 parts. So there'll be a seam line to take care of and everything, but I think we'll be okay. So that's kind of the menu what we've got going on. So a lot of variety, a lot of different colors. So, you know, we've got the camo of the aircraft, and we have olive drab white ordnance. We're going to have the gray fuel tank, all kinds of stuff. So it's going to look really visually appealing. So that's why I went with that loadout. Again, I'm not a rivet counter, but that's apparently how they carried them, and per my chart here, it does kind of work out. So we're going with that. So that is it. Enough waffling. Let me switch the camera, and let's get started. Alright, so camera switch down, now we can look a little bit closer detail. So here's kind of your chart showing everything here, the color schemes and some decals and the pylons and stuff as well. Now, what I taught does probably sound like a bunch of gobbledygook, so I actually marked it on here. So here you can see exactly what we got going on in terms of how we're going to load this guy out. We're going to use all stuff in the kit, we're not going to use aftermarket, we'll just go with what we got. So this is basically, you can pause it, take a look at what we've got going on. Alright, so if I scroll back, really, so we've got parts 25 of the pylons. Zoom back out. There we go. Parts 25 of the pylons. And this is what we're interested in. Nothing too complex here. Most of these things are just 2 parts. So we're going to do a center tank, and then per what we selected on the other side, you can see the highlighter coming through. So we're going to pick, you know, do Mark 82s and basically a bunch of cluster bombs. Where are they? Mark 20 cluster bombs, all that kind of stuff. We're going to start building up. So nothing too crazy there. Simple plastic. Now let me kind of show you close up. So 2 of these sprues. Again, a little bit of detail on there. Not too much anyway, but I mean, some ways it makes it a little bit easier, because when you've got 2 parts and you're sanding seams and stuff, if you have tons of detail, you're going to lose it all. So we have to rescribe it back in. So if there's not much, we don't have to worry too much. But we can go, you know, we'll definitely do what you used to do, a lot of weathering, some neat oils and stuff to really kind of make these things kind of pop and look a lot more visually interesting. So some various stuff on here, on this sprue. And then we have 2 more of these guys. So this sprue, which is sprue J. And there's your cluster bombs, 2 parts, and various other stuff on here too. So that's the plastic. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start, you don't need to see me watch and do this, but I'm going to go ahead and start cutting these off, getting them together and taking care of the seam lines. So I'll do that, and then we'll come right back, and then we can talk about the painting side of things. Alright, so working along here, I've done 6 cluster bombs, need cleaning up, and 1 of these racks that go on the pylons. Now, found 2 issues. So this is one of the reasons why I like to do these videos. Like, not only does it help kind of inspire other people, but also kind of point out some issues. So if you guys are building this, it help you along with your build. So sway braces here, attachments for the ordnance is fits perfectly for the dumb bombs, but these cluster bombs, look at the holes. They just don't fit. They're way too big. So it's not a big deal. I just need to fill the holes and clip back these a little bit, and we'll just super glue these on. So that's the first one. The second one is my plan of what I'm doing for my loadout isn't going to work, because you only have 2 of these. and I wanted 3. So because I only got 2, I'm just going to do outer pylons. I'm going to keep the cluster bombs, and I have to switch it up for the inner pylon and do something else. But yeah, so you got 2 of these guys, and again, the holes, they don't line up with the attachment points. It's no big deal. Like I said, just want to point that out. I'm carry on cleaning these guys up and working. Got 6 more to do, and I've got more stuff to add to this as well. Alright, so as you can see laid out here, we've got everything built and painted up. Now, what a lot of work getting all these done, taking rid of the seam lines and getting it all put together. A couple of days worth of work here actually, so yeah, quite a lot of stuff. But that's just what I like to do at the beginning, just get it out of the way, get them all built up, and then you just concentrate on the aircraft. So, did it all, painted it, no problem at all. In the end, we used Mr. Servicer 1500 white to get this nice kind of texture and white on the cluster bombs. Olive drab. Painted the end silver, hand painted it. Built all the pylons, put them together. That's all light ghost grey. And my usual with the fuel tank. Came back and added a little bit, using my stencil here. Put on top and then sprayed on a little bit red brown. Very small amount of red brown, just create some dirt kind of effects on here. And then just freehanded a little bit on the patches here and there. It's just kind of weather it up a little bit. So that's kind of where we're at. Next up is decals, and there's a few, see on the pylons and stuff here. A couple on the Mark 82s and a couple on the cluster bombs there. So we've got a few little decals to add on. I'm going to add those and then seal them all in and then weather up more the fuel tank and the pylons. So I'm going to head and do a lot more work ahead of me, so I'm going to head and working on that one, and then we can start putting all these things together on the racks and finishing this up. Alright, we're finally done. Wow, it's been like 3 days worth of work on this little bit here. It's a lot of stuff. Basically 12 cluster bombs, take care of seam lines, painting them all up, decaling them all up, all that kind of stuff. But we're finally done. So we've got our 2 Mark 82s right here, no problem at all. We've got our center tank, fuel tank, weathered up, how I usually do it with with the clay panel line wash and then some neat oils. Now, I'm not gonna I didn't go through this today because I've done it a million times before. But so if you look at the show notes below, I'm gonna put a link to when I did my 32nd scale growler, and that's gonna show you right there how exact same principles, same products, everything. So if you want to see how I do this one, you can go back and check that video and see it in detail. Cluster bombs. So again, we didn't have holes in them; they weren't accurate. So I had to kind of, they're not perfectly straight and stuff. But hey, it is what it is. I had to do the best I could. In hindsight, I kind of wish I went with the Mark 81s. I think the olive drab might be a little bit better. But anyway, did these already. Not sure how fragile. It's gonna be fun trying to get these onto the wings at the end. But basically, 2 sets of 6, and these guys are ready to go as well. So quite a lot of armament on this guy. So that's our Gulf War loadout we've done, and yeah, again, this little section here, painting and weathering and decals and getting rid of the seams, yeah, on and off, pretty much 3 days worth of work. So glad we got this out of the way at the very start. Now we can concentrate on the actual aircraft. So thank you for watching. As always, I'm going to wrap the video up, and I'll be back next week, and we'll start work on the actual jet itself. So thanks, have a good one, goodbye.